Good morning, Rick. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mark, and good morning, everybody.
Welcome to the side dish. By the way, this is my cup of coffee in a main cup. I've had it before, but I understand now that you're not drinking coffee any longer. You're drinking tea.
And look how like feng shui it is with all the Asian stuff. Yeah, well, I'm drinking tea because I closed my restaurant, which was a tea shop and a wine bar. And man, if you come into my apartment, it now looks like a tea shop and a wine bar. So I've switched to tea for a while. Plus, I feel a lot healthier drinking tea.
Okay. Well, I figured it was some sort of holier than thou thing because you do that sometimes. You
Well,
like you
sometimes, yeah,
you get into
sometimes.
tea. You're all. Are you a vegan yet? You're pretty
No, no,
close
I
though.
didn't go back to being a vegan yet, but I am going on a 1 day fast. I talked to my trainer yesterday because my body's ripped and pumped and,
I can
hot as
tell. I can
fuck.
tell.
But I have to get rid of my belly. So I'm fasting 1 day a week.
Liposuction.
That's what I tell him. He says it's not worth it. He
No,
said
no, it's not.
fasting and just drinking coffee and water 1 day a week, the day after I cheat. So Thursday's my cheat day. Have to drink all the alcohol I can, eat all the ice cream I can on Thursday. Friday I got to suffer as described. Then every other day I can eat. Well, I'm eating meat again, Mark, meat and veggies, but
Okay.
I do whatever anybody tells me. You want to go jump off a bridge?
No, no, no. The author of the First Wives Club, by the way, she had liposuction and got like a staph infection and died. So all of this stuff scares me. I'm getting a colonoscopy in a couple weeks, which we'll talk about next time. But they use propofol, whatever the hell killed Joan Rivers and Michael Jackson. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to tell them just give me some Valium. I'm scared of this stuff.
I don't
But
blame you. You got to take control of your body. Don't let them take control of you.
no, I want to come back. I don't want to black out and never come back.
I want to talk about your colonoscopy. It's good fodder for side dish.
It is.
Yes,
It makes
as
an
we
excellent
age
side
to
dish.
perfection, things happen as we age to perfection. So listen, I got a topic. I'm in a quandary, Mark. I no longer carry cable TV, and I was thinking the old days when we were kids and you were growing up in Indiana and I was in Wisconsin. We had the NBC affiliate, ABC and CBS, and all of a sudden this thing called Fox came in only on Sunday nights, and then you get the picture. Then the WB started, and we had 5 stations. Then we went up to 7, and then the PAX network came in or whatever. Before you knew it, the vision of 500 channel television showed up. I made a living in cable television. At the same time, all this music stuff came up, different ways to get your music. The smartphone came along. You know where I'm headed with it. So now I'm no longer carrying cable TV, and I'm trying to make a decision about how I get the content from my phone onto the big, huge screen my mom gave me, little flat screen for a year ago. And there are so many options out there, but the coolest one that came out this week, first of all, they're telling me because I have an Apple phone, there used to be a way that you could hardwire it, for $50, just plug in this, plug it into the TV and the USB, and you're good to go. But now, of course, Apple owned universe, you have to have Apple TV to make that happen. And well, I watch all my shows, most of my shows on Amazon Instant, because I love that, or Amazon Prime.
Really?
I love the little, you know what show I love.
Trans America.
Transparent, yes. Transamerica was a movie. I love Transparent, but in order to do that, you have to whatever they have to be a part of. If you're using Chromecast, they have to be a provider of Chromecast. So it's so complicated. But this new device that TiVo, one of the originators of recorded television, came out with, is called the Romeo, and for $50, and then I think you have to pay 10 or 15 a month to get it. Basically, it's just pulling content from your antenna TV. And in a city like New York City, you get probably 50 free channels, maybe even more. I think 100 free channels. In Shreveport, we get X amount. But the choices are many. And then I was reading about music. Spotify basically had 6 million subscribers last year. This year, they have 8 million. And that number really is like 24 million for people that are using it for free. And can you believe this? Pandora is up to 80 million people using it.
Okay, so what's your point?
So my point is, it's just times have changed. Apple is coming out with their own version. They bought the Beat. Remember, they bought those that microphone or that ear set from that
From
rapper.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now they're going to call it the Beat, and it's going to be their version or something Beat, their version of Pandora, a way to get music, because they were down $13 million last year in people downloading music. So my point is this: we used to have vinyl, then we had 8-track, then we had cassette, then we had CD, then we had download. And now it's all gone. It's a whole different world.
It's always a different world. My grandmother used to bemoan when she was able to buy 4 loaves of bread for a quarter. I'm like, yeah, and you were making 5 cents an hour. It's all changes. I it's a pretty good topic for me because I'm a publisher. And
Hmm.
I'm self-published, and I don't care what anybody if anybody wants to look whatever. People have attitudes about this shit. Mostly people whose jobs are threatened. They're either snobs or their jobs are threatened, and so they're opposed to it, just like the music business. But I'm like, you know what? I put it out. I love being able to publish myself, and I love ebooks. I love the whole thing because if nobody buys it, nobody buys it. So what?
No, I
Um,
love that idea. I think the challenge for me though is that now it's in the tech realm. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference between I walk to school without my shoes in the middle of winter, 7 miles, versus trying to figure out in the technical culture at 50 years old, not having the technical savvy. It's kind of difficult. I
but
mean,
you also have the option of not figuring it out. I don't watch.
that's true.
I'm online all the time and doing all this stuff, but I'm less plugged in. I mean, some technology I like, but some of it I'm just like, I don't know. You have the option of not getting into that.
Yeah, I mean, I have the option today of looking at the 6 or the 6 Plus or keeping the 5 that I'm holding in my hand. But it's interesting because sometimes when you have it, you can access things better. Like, for instance, back to my point also about transparent. If you haven't seen it, you have Amazon Prime, don't you? Because I think you sent me
I
things
do,
by
but I
it.
don't stream TV shows. I mean, speaking
Oh
of
my
things
God.
speaking of you going like, how do I deal with all this? I don't stream TV shows. I never have. I'm never going to. So I just
Mm.
don't. It's not something I'm interested in doing.
Well, and I'm not interested, and that's why I don't carry cable. That's why I don't buy TV. I've worked in it all my life, and I really am not interested anymore. But there's certain things, like special episodes or something you want to see. Like on this Transparent, they've used a team of trans folks to be their consultants. And I listened to an interview the other day, and the gentleman named Reese Ernst, he is amazing. He says, we were not just a consultant, we're an activist. And on that show, as you may know, not only did they help transform Jeffrey Tambor into this trans woman, they also staffed the show with camera operators and everything with it. And so for me, that show means a lot to me. It's changed television. I heard a bunch of critics say it's the only good TV out there. And also, your baby Jessica Lange, she sang a song last week that was of Gods and Monsters, the one by who's that? Lana, whatever her name is, Lena, whatever. But I couldn't see it if I wasn't able to stream it and use it because it's on American Horror Story. So anyway, that's my
Well,
quandary.
then you got to adapt. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, I'm not. I don't see Transparent because I'm not. I don't stream television. But
Right.
I do see American Horror Story. By the way, the first episode, she sang David Bowie's "Life on Mars."
I heard it was
I
fantastic.
was like, "Oh my god, I love this."
So did you see the one last Wednesday that you did with Lana? I keep
I
drawing a
fell
blank on
asleep. Yeah, whatever.
Oh my God,
Lana
what?
Del somebody. Yeah,
Yeah, Lana Del Rey. It was fantastic.
Ariana Ziggy Azalea.
Yeah. And one last
Carnation.
comment about this. Saturday Night Live, I can't get anymore, and I love the musical acts. And Lana Del Rey was one that was kind of discovered on there. And there's a guy named Hosier. If you haven't
Is
heard
he
his
from
work,
Indiana?
he's a hosier. No, his stuff's amazing. And he's kind of indie record, kind of like your point of self-publishing, put out his own record with his own name. And now he's getting across. He was on Saturday Night Live last week, and fantastic. That's it.
That was like 6 topics.
That was like a fuck you, Rick. You're not valid. Go
No,
drink your tea.
I get it. I get it.
I know.
We
It's
just
important.
got Time Warner because they're being pressured by FiOS.
Oh, I know.
So
all
they
this.
finally came up and said, "Listen, we'll give you like double the speed for nothing." So we got the new modem, and because they're we can't talk about it, but uploading these videos with what we had would take me 2 hours. It's a 15-minute video, and it's because of their speeds. So, anyways, they gave us double super speeds, and so
You
we'll
got to be
see.
a happy boy. That's awesome.
But yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that. October is almost over, and I've wanted to talk about this for a couple weeks. Before I say anything, my mother had breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy. Lung cancer is what killed her, but this is, I've been worried about being misunderstood. But illness, I really don't like illness as big business, and cancer is big business, and breast cancer is big business. We're coming up on Movember. It's all over the internet. Grow your mustache. It's great to bring awareness, but on the other hand, like, when are we ever going to be aware? Are we not aware of breast cancer yet? It's been a few decades, and it really bugs me because everything's pink, and like for October, and we saw this ad at like I don't know 11 o'clock at night or something for the energy drinks. You know those little energy drinks that they
Yeah.
sell at 7-Eleven, and they were pink, and they had women talking about their breast cancer experience, and then the spokesperson for the product was like, if you buy a 5-hour energy drink this month. A portion of the proceeds, they don't tell you how much. I mean, maybe it's a nickel. I don't know. But it really turns me
True.
off. I mean, we got to stop this, the whole pink shit for all of October to raise awareness when I hope to God we're aware of breast cancer at this point. I'm suspicious of it. I don't like the Susan G. Komen Foundation. 2 years ago, it was all over the news that they were going after and suing these little small people doing fundraisers for charities and using the word "the cure." You can't do that. Did you know that? Unless
No, I didn't
Susan
know
B.
that.
Komen will
That's
sue you
interesting.
if you do
Yeah.
like the cure for leprosy walk or the cure for leprosy garage sale. They'll come after your ass and say we copyrighted the
Ridiculous.
cure. And I remember this a couple years ago. Then I'll shut up. I did on my blog. I did a parody post and said that the Susan G. Komen Foundation sues the Cure, the 1980s punk group, the Cure, for copyright
Oh my
infringement.
God, that's so funny.
I had thousands and thousands of hits.
Did you really?
Yeah, somebody saw it and thought it was funny. But
Oh
it's
my
like
God, I didn't know that.
it's
I
been,
didn't know that about it. I mean, that's the ultimate, like you're saying, to own that phrase.
yeah, but my greater point is I'm really suspicious of illness as business, and I don't like it, and I don't participate. I did not do an ice challenge. I'm not going to make fun of the people who did, but just write a check, give some money to somebody, an organization that you believe in, and
Or
stop
gi-
stop
or
stop the
give your time.
commercialization of illness.
I like what you're saying there, Mark. Give your time. For instance, working in a corporate setting, we do address Susan Komen every year because we're a community-oriented company. And of the time that goes into these people creating, oh, we're going to do our Monster Energy can in pink or whatever, all that time that's spent in these meetings and decisions and in production to change your can to that color and everything, you're 100% right. If those individuals, myself included, didn't sit in a meeting for an hour and a half planning what we're going to do to go pink, I could just go out and spend time with someone for an hour and a half.
And I
And
and
you
I
are.
also I also want to know how much these people are making. Where does
Oh
this
my
money
gosh.
go? How much is the president of Susan G. Komen pulling in?
Yeah.
It just all just pisses me off, man.
Well, there's administration to it. My mom, one of the things when my dad died, started Angel on my shoulders. She's not staff paid. She's been doing this 20 years. And she did it for the same reason. American Cancer Society, the money they make, it is big business. And I agree. And then there's some guilt too, because I don't wear a pink ribbon and I don't do anything pink. I'm not, and then you kind of feel bad. Do you feel bad though?
No, not in the least. I wasn't a fan of red ribbons, because they were being forced on people. I mean, this is some of our listeners make like, what's he talking about? The AIDS ribbons, man, back in the 80s. And like,
Yeah, first
it
ribbon
was
out.
nice to see, but at the same time, they were being forced on people. You could not watch an award show where they weren't all and they were handed
Yeah,
the ribbons.
then
It wasn't
one person didn't
voluntary.
wear it. Remember?
Yes.
Remember one, and they're like, "What does that mean?" It's like, no, of course, I've lost friends and I do care. It's interesting. It's
Okay.
interesting. I agree with you, and I'm glad you did say something because I'm not about it. I'm not
And
about
I'm not
walking
growing a
the-
mustache. I couldn't anyways, but I'm not growing a mustache.
You could.
I want Homovember. I don't want Movember. I want Homovember.
Well, that's it. We're also sharing the month with National Coming Out Month or whatever. So I don't know, but we all are sharing Halloween. Those of us that believe in it. I guess Cameron, what's his name? That little kid from Growing Pains. What's his name? That's so anti-gay. He came out.
Cameron Diaz? Cameron Diaz?
No, Cameron Diaz is a woman.
Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron, anti-gay, all about Halloween is a wonderful holiday. But when you look at Halloween, it's really based in pagan stuff. I was reading a little bit of history. I love it. First of all, 35 million pounds of candy corn being made this year, Mark.
That's awesome. That's like pink month stuff.
It is, and it came from Wisconsin. I just got to point out, being from Wisconsin in the fall, Halloween, I love to be up there. It came from the same company that now produces the Jelly Belly. I think that's kind of interesting. But again, that's commercialized. You can get reindeer, or what do they call it in the holidays? It changes to green and red and it's reindeer corn, or it changes into bunny corn where it's pastel colors. But candy corn, man, they're doing a lot with it now. You can do candy corn shots, infuse your vodka with candy corn. Candy corn was really meant to be a summertime thing. Think about it. Why did they steal for Halloween when it was called like chicken corn or something, or chicken feed when it first came out? Did you know
Really?
that?
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
because it's corn. Corn is a summer treat. I mean, and all of a sudden Halloween went and owned it. But I was reading about the pagan history of it, and people used to do this thing called guising or mumming, where the treat part of trick or treat was really you would go around in groups. It was mostly guys that would go to homes around the turn of the not the turn of the century, AD to BC. So it's been around since first century BC, actually, Mark. And you would go to homes and you would knock on doors and you would put on a little show with masks. And that was the whole idea. And then I was reading, get this. Do you know the original jack-o'-lantern was not a carved pumpkin?
It was a real head, a real human head.
Well, probably in some cases, but really it was a rutabaga, a carved rutabaga.
Really?
It was Jack of the Lantern was based on a character called Stingy Jack. Back in Ireland, that's where the holiday created. It was actually, it's more Irish than St. Pat's Day, because as you know, St. Pat's Day was really an American holiday based on Irish heritage. But this was created in Ireland, and there was a character named Stingy Jack in folklore that went out with the devil and made the devil convert himself to a coin so he could pay for his beer and carry the coin in his pocket. And then when Jack died, God said, I don't want you, Jack. And Satan said, no, I don't want you. I'm going to turn something into a burning coal, and you're going to carry that burning coal around. So that's what Jack did. He was Jack of the Lantern. He took this burning coal and put it in a carved rutabaga. So historically, it was carved beets, rutabagas, turnips, anything but a pumpkin.
Well,
but I love Halloween.
Well, I do too, and I love how much research you do for these shows.
It was called,
really, that's intense.
It was good. I didn't look up how it was spelled. Samhain. Samhain.
Samhain. That was a publishing company too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Samhain. I don't know if they're still around, but I can't get into it. But yeah, that was a publishing company. Josh Lanyon, who's a very, very, very successful gay mystery writer. I just did an interview with him that I hope to have up soon. But anyways, his first books were published on Samhain Press.
He must be into. Here's an interesting.
No, the press was called Samhain.
I know, but the press must have somehow tied into the holiday.
Possibly, or they knew about it like you did. I had no idea. But by the way, for Kirk Cameron, Christmas also is a pagan holiday. It was originally it's the winter solstice. The Christmas tree had to do with fertility and all this other stuff. So I wonder if he celebrates Christmas.
I'm sure he does. Anyway, it's also. Oh, we're not on that topic yet. But October's also your birthday. We can jump on that later.
Well, that's my final topic.
What is it?
That I'm going to be 56 years old on Tuesday.
Happy birthday, Mark!
I don't have any party sounds or fireworks sounds, but I wrote a really nice Mark's Cafe Moi. Those are those editors' blogs that I do at lgbtsr.org. Yeah, where age is embraced and life is celebrated. So that's going to be up on Tuesday. I'm just about turning 56 and embracing, I mean, there's things I don't like about aging, but I'm not in denial. I hate it when people say, she's 84 years old. Like, come on, man. I'm sorry, 84 years. You know what I mean? I did that wrong. She's 84 years young. That's what I hate.
Oh, I hate
He's
that
56 years young. No, I'm not. But anyways, so that's the deal. I'm going to be 56. I can't believe how fast time goes. That means, too, that you and I have known each other since, like, I was 30 years old or something.
Well, that doesn't change, but it's a number of years that we've known each other that changes, Mark.
Yeah.
So tell me, how's 56 different than 55, do you think?
I just see the clock. Well, I don't know. It probably started when I was 50, but I just feel the clock is there, man. I hear it ticking, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing? The things I want to do, accomplishing the things I want to accomplish, loving the people I want to love. It's just my time is much more important to me than it was, because it's I've said this many times. I read that it's a non-renewable resource, and I loved that, because we don't often think of time that way, but you can't get it back. And so I hope that I am spending it more wisely and with more intention than I used to.
I agree. So I've read this thing, 40 things gay men need to experience by the time they're 40. So let's see, you're 55, almost 56. Have you dressed in leather before?
Oh, yes.
Have you dressed in drag before?
No, never. Well,
have you overcome your weight issues and acted like a go-go boy before?
No.
Have you watched every single episode of Golden Girls and ate cheesecake while you were doing so?
Yes. Is this the Huffington Post thing? Is that
I don't know. I don't know. I posted it. No, I didn't post it. Oh, no. It's interesting. Have you participated in a gay parade?
Oh, yes. Now, are we doing all 40 of these?
No, that's as many as I. Those were the ones I picked out for you because I wanted to see. Actually, the drag thing does not surprise me. The leather thing surprised me a little bit.
Oh my, Rick! I could tell you things, but I can't because Frank listens to these.
Well, that was another question. Have you had a monogamous relationship? We know you certainly
Oh
have, and
yes,
been
yeah,
and
yeah.
married.
A
Hey,
number of
31
times.
states in DC now you can get married.
30 states or something.
No, 31 now.
31 now. By the
31.
way, before we close, I just want people to know that there are 7,999,999 people in New York City who do not have Ebola.
Oh, well, that's so good to know. I was worried about your treatment next week. I immediately thought, oh, he's got to go for Ebola. Like, make sure that, I mean, like, make sure there's no Ebola circumstances in the
Ebolanoscopy? Am
room.
I getting an Ebolanoscopy?
I think we need a bolonoscopy. I want to say, speaking of gay,
Because we're
two
at the
exciting.
20. We're at the 20,
I
man.
know,
We got
but
to
two
cut it.
exciting things coming out. November 4th, Bette Midler, 15 songs by other female artists. Did you see that? It's called "It's the Girls."
I read it. Frank hates her, but I read it. It
I
looks
love
good.
it. And Meryl Streep coming out as the witch in Into the Woods.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Christmas Day.
2101,
Happy birthday.
man. 2101. We went over, but it's okay. I'm 56. Indulge me.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Talk to you next time
Thanks, guys, for joining us. Have a
on the
great
side dish.
day.
Ciao.